The 2025 Rogue Invitational in Scotland is done. Day 3 of Rogue and the wrap-up. Is Justin Medeiros back? Does Josh Bridges need to be canned, axed, fired? Who is hot and who is not? But first, we've got some final superlatives. The Epic Comeback Award goes to Lucy Campbell, as her day 3 was absolutely ferocious. She also gets the Colton Mertens Hog Award, too, for grit. Colton can have that one as well, but he's sharing it with Lucy Campbell this time. The Washed Trash Go Away Forever and Don't Come Back Award goes to Josh Bridges and Chris Spieler. I don't dislike you. You should just never program this again. The not fittest woman on earth is Laura Horvath. More to come on that. The fittest person on earth still is James Sprague. Epic Geriatric Collapse Award goes to Patrick Vellner. I really thought today was the day. It seemed like magic was in the air. The guy's got one foot in the casket and the other foot on the podium, I was thinking. But alas, age caught up to him. He may be really back for reals this time. Award goes to Justin Medeiros for what he ends up doing. The worst performing couple award goes to Austin Hatfield and Haley Adams. Now, they are the only couple, but they still deserve this, even though I love them both. The He Pulled a Gee Award goes to Guy Mojeros, because he basically out-geed Guy with this one, sucking it up at the tournament that's absolutely tailor-made for him. And the Brian Friend Camera to the Sky Award goes to Hamilton Road, or whatever they call themselves now. Great graphics, high production value, but the camera was never in the right spot, and it drove me absolutely insane. All right, before we get into the summary of this whole thing, I've been kind of doing a rundown of each day. I'll try not to bore you, especially if you've seen it already. Day 3, what we've got is Granite City. On this run, Emma Lawson makes a move and smokes everyone. Lucy Campbell takes second, also making a surge, and Laura is not hurt on this one as she takes fourth. For the men, we all kind of know that it's going to be Adler, Sprague, Roman, and when you add the rope climbs and the lunges, definitely those three, right? You'd imagine that their length would help. And that's almost correct. Adler takes second, Roman takes third, and in fourth. Wait, and in fourth. Did James Sprague just get blown past in a run by Justin freaking Medeiros? Didn't he run like a 7-minute mile just over a year ago at the 24 CrossFit Games? On a day where James Sprague was in it for a podium spot or even a win, he got beat by Justin in a running, rope, and lunge workout.
What the heck was that?
It's really close going into the last two events, and the people that are in it are Adler and Medeiros, having pulled away from the rest of the field, followed by Roman, Crouch, Sprague, Jason, and then Vellner is just dropping off the freaking planet.
You're embarrassing yourself, you geriatric f***!
Women's side, it's all Laura at this point. Gazan is alone in second. And then further back, you've got Olivia, Danny, Ariel, those two now tumbling after a poor running performance, and Lawson shooting up, as well as Lucy Campbell surging as well. The next event, double bogey. I love this one. A+. It's just classic CrossFit couplet. It's squatting and burpees, right? You've got an overhead squat, 95 for the women, 135 for the men, 10 rounds, 8 overhead squats, and 6 burpees over the bar. And of course, we could have called ahead of time that Colton Mertens would smoke everyone in this. The smaller guys that aren't really in it did really well. But for those who were in it, Adler takes fourth, widening his lead. Justin takes fifth, further pulling away from the people behind him. Crouch in fifth, Roman Krenikov in seventh, which helps them both. James in 13th, Hopper in 17th, hurts them both. Lucy Campbell continues to surge with a event win. Lawson as well, as she takes a second place finish, but Laura maintains her dominance as she takes fourth, which is enough to keep a huge lead. Olivia takes seventh and Gazan takes 11th. Gazan is still in second by a ways. Final event, the women are just fighting for third at this point. It is a bag that you carry back and forth. For the men, it's 150 pounds. For the women, it's 100 pounds. Then you do 50 cal on the Echo bike, and then you do the carry again to finish it off. Gracie Walton actually won this one, and she somehow snuck into seventh. We weren't really talking about her all weekend. Lucy Campbell takes third.
Campbell gaining ground on Gazan.
Horvath has the bag up. Campbell's getting the help she needs right now. Lawson's got the bag. Brandon's got the bag. Gonna take the heat, and she could be on the podium in Scotland.
That's a second place, third place, and first place to end the final day and last three matches. Gazan takes fourth, Olivia fifth, Emma Lawson seventh. Thus, Lucy Campbell secures the only podium spot that was really up for grabs, leapfrogging Olivia and Emma to take third, with Gazan in second and Laura Horvath your winner. Adler and Medeiros basically have first and second sealed up. James needs to win the event and have Roman take third to make the podium and take over that third spot. If he takes worse than first, because of the way that the tiebreaker works, then he has to have two spots in between him and Roman.
Krennikov has 2 calories remaining, and he's done. Roman onto the bag, looking to put himself on the podium here. Sprague is done. Sprague has got to catch Roman, and Roman is halfway down the floor before Sprague has the bag up.
And what happens is that basically Roman wins it, so it's over. James does take second. Your podium is Jeffrey Adler as the winner, Justin Medeiros in second, and Roman Krennikov in fourth. James takes fifth. We'll get into that here in a second. But first, I want to mention somebody else, Chris Spieler and Josh Bridges, because the programming was a mess. Now, look, here's the deal. I liked watching a lot of the events, and the coverage mostly was good. But the problem is that there are so many question marks where you're just scratching your head. Even somebody like me, not a programmer, not an OG, it sticks out like a sore thumb. We know it's going to skew heavy, even though it didn't have a max lift this time. That's why going into the last day, people like Danny Spiegel were actually in it. She was in third going to the last day. The last day did have more of a cardio engine type identity to finish it off. So you saw some people who weren't doing well move up the leaderboard, and some people who were doing well move down on the leaderboard. One of the things that I mentioned in an earlier video was the 4 rounds of heavy squatting, sandbags, and snatches, like a hero workout on speed. It was just too much. It probably could have been 3 rounds. A lot of people were talking about it.
A lot of talk happening over there in Scotland that this could be the hardest event programmed in a competition.
It just absolutely battered them, and what it was paired with even had Josh Bridges saying this.
Like when you have the log clean, and then you have the the kind of back extension and pressing and everything, and then you have all that back squatting, are you worried about what that athletes might be waking up feeling like tomorrow morning or Sunday morning, or the order of events?
I wouldn't say I was worried about it, but yes.
Which, if you have the person programming the event saying this mid-competition, right off the bat, it's almost enough to just say, dude, see you later. Consistently, people are critiquing the fact that we had many implements in many different events that simply didn't matter. Now, some people have said that all that matters on event 1 was the log muscle ups. I would actually disagree with that. The jump rope actually mattered for some people, and how quickly you were able to get through that. Haley Adams was on the jump rope for freaking ever. The 20 box jumps literally meant absolutely nothing. The log muscle ups were extremely important, and it really did kind of come down to the log muscle ups. But the consistent theme that we're going to see is that one aspect of the workout is extremely important and taxing in whatever way it is meant to be, whether it's meant to be heavy or high heart rate, and it's filled with elements. These events are filled with other elements that just don't matter. Event 4, the crux, it was the pegboard that was all that mattered. The bench press, which is a really cool thing to have, simply wasn't heavy enough to matter. 75% of body weight for the women was ridiculous, and Jason Hopper had no problem getting through his bench press at the highest body weight, which was 230 pounds, and anybody who was competitive didn't have a problem either. I really think that should have been a heavier bench press, and then that would have been fun. Imagine having that at 245, 250 pounds for everyone, and it just completely changes the workout. And we never get to see bench. That would have been fun. John Young pointed out, and CJ from WOD Prep, there was no pressing that mattered. Bench press should have mattered, and the handstand push-ups should have mattered on event 6. I don't mind the ski buy-in. That's cool with me, but they're going back and forth between heavy deadlifts, ascending in weight, descending in reps, and they're doing the handstand push-ups. You got Laura Horvath, who's basically kipping them, but the people who would typically struggle with those, you've seen Sprague struggle in the past, had no problem. It was like 30 of them. I could freaking do it without a problem. That should have been an important part of this workout. It wasn't really tested, and somebody like Laura, we know that's her weakness. That is a huge mistake. Maybe we make it a wall walks complex of some sort. Maybe you simply add more handstand push-ups. Maybe you add a deficit. I don't know, but make it matter. When we get to event 7, the running event that happened today, the final day, Sunday, I liked the event, even though long cardio events tend to be boring. It is necessary to have. And as I mentioned earlier, the rope climbs were just meaningless. We've seen Hatfield failing at strict rope climbs before. So I don't know if it needed to be 9 strict rope climbs. I'm not sure that that would be a problem, although it might slow some people more than others. But do something that matters there. Have it be a portion of the test where people can actually go faster or slower and gain or lose a spot. And then the last event's always really important. It's what's going to leave the taste in your mouth, right? Are you going to have a bitter taste or a sweet taste? And I thought the last event was really boring. It was, some sandbag carries, a bike, and some sandbag carries. And I actually think that it was WFP Tour Stop 1. That was a great finish. That was a super exciting finish. If you remember, that's the one where Jeffrey Adler blew up and basically gave away the whole freaking event.
We could see Adler potentially not just fall out of the top spot, but maybe down to 3rd.
It was a 40 cal row that they went absolutely ham on. They did 30 burpees over ballistic blocks, 20 dumbbell thrusters, and then the double overhead dumbbell walking lunge. That's a good final event. The 2024 CrossFit Games final event would have been a good event. You had of course, it's technically 2 events. You had 2-4-2-1 and 18-15, which were basically a bunch of, thrusters and muscle ups, chest to bars.
Vellner, 1 rep to go, and here comes Pat Vellner. James Sprague onto the barbell. Ricky Garrard. James Sprague has just come back.
2 separate events with 2 minutes in the middle that was really fun to watch, down to the wire, and required strategy. And then the other one that comes to mind is the CrossFit Games, not the final event from this year, but the event right before that, right? Running Isabel. Wow, that
man was James Sprague. Hatfield has gone back to back on Sunday, and Jason Hopper got 2 no reps. Oh no! Crouch is in. Ricky is in. Hopper. Disaster.
A heart pounder. Something like that would be a great final event as well. But even with all these issues that so many people have brought up, Siobhan had Katie from Rogue on the after show, and she said that she is sticking with them.
I have no plans of changing his programming.
I like watching Rogue, but it felt like it hit a peak this year for obvious flaws in the programming that anybody can easily see. As far as performances, Jeff Adler was back, sort of. I'm not completely convinced. He's been dominant in the past. He looked beatable for sure. He didn't for a while. Now he does. But this is definitely a step in the right direction. As far as James Sprague, I think that he is the best CrossFitter on the planet. Not talking about the title of fittest man on earth. Hopper won that fair and square. I'm simply talking about the odds of who will win the next one. When we look at what's been done in the full body of work, the person who is in it and as consistent as he is, he's still a home run hitter on certain events. The guy can win events as well. He won Wadapalooza. He took second in both tour stop events for the WFP. In a loaded field at Mayhem, he took 4th. And at the CrossFit Games, he took 3rd. Now here at Rogue, the place that he's not supposed to be good at because it's too heavy, he takes 4th. This actually propels him further in my head. And Justin Medeiros looks dangerous. Did Andrew Hiller just fat shame him into possibly becoming the best again?
Even that physique was likely B tier. At best, current modern day Justin Medeiros is a C tier level athlete, just looking at the dude.
Still cannot believe that he caught James Sprague on a running event, a running rope lunging event. Just freaking sprinted right past him. But that's the thing that solidifies it the most. Nobody would expect something like that. And he looked diced up. He did not look to be carrying as much fat as he normally does. Now, these guys don't carry a ton of fat, but back in 2020, 2021, whatever, the guy was shredded and he looked a little bit different. I don't know if he lost weight. I don't know if it was a recomp of some sort from just training harder, eating better, but he looked good. He has to be somebody that's considered a threat going forward. Hopper had some home runs, 3 event wins. He's got the record for 9 at Rogue. And he has been a bit inconsistent for me to conceive of him going back to back for the CrossFit Games. Even taking 6th at Rogue proves that you are taking your training seriously and not letting off the gas after the CrossFit Games. Roman's been up and down. I don't really know what to think of him. He perennial top 10. It seemed like he's either got injured or hasn't performed when he showed up to threaten that podium or to be somebody who could potentially win like we thought of him before. But taking 3rd here shows that he definitely belongs in the same crowd as these younger guys, Dallin Peppers and the Spragues. And I would say the Hatfields, except Hatfield was nowhere to be found. He looked like the ghost of Austin Hatfield. He took 10th in something that I mentioned earlier, technically as being slanted heavier, should be better for him than the CrossFit Games, I would think. Ricky Garrard is not washed. I think he's 32, going on 33 maybe. He's still got it. Jay Crouch, consistently good, consistently overlooked and underrated, and I think consistently inching up just a little bit, getting better and better. I'm not even sure we've seen the best of him yet. On the women's side, this is just Laura's event. Look, am I convinced that Laura is the fittest or threat to be the fittest if she does the CrossFit Game season? Absolutely not. She got smoked by Lucy Campbell at Wadapalooza. She got smoked at WFP Tour Stop 1. Yes, she won Tour Stop 2, and she was probably peaking for this. But this event is just sort of made for her. It's heavy, and she didn't have to do anything as far as the stuff that would affect her, the handstand push-ups. I would still rank Tia ahead of her. I would rank Lucy Campbell ahead of her right now. And I think both Olivia and Emma are a threat to her. And then we don't want to forget about Gabby, but I don't know when she's coming back or when she'll be healthy. I think Gabby should still be considered 3rd until further notice. Lucy Campbell is the MVP. Now, that's not the fittest woman on earth. She's the MVP for the year. Tia is the fittest person on earth, but when you look at the resume, who did the most, it's without a doubt Lucy Campbell. She podiumed at Wadapalooza. She podiumed at the CrossFit Games, and she podiumed at Rogue. Sorry, she won Wadapalooza. Not only is she MVP, she's the comeback player of the year. She's got the most heart and the most grit, and she's definitely one of my favorites. Emma Lawson is with Brute and should be in for this game season, and I have her in my top 5. Her talent level is crazy. Extremely young, like 20, 21, and she is trending way up. Olivia's weaknesses showed up a little bit here on the last day, but 5th at her first Rogue is still a really good first outing. After taking 3rd at the Games, we'll be looking for a huge season from her next year. Danielle Brandon, at this point, just perpetually between 4th and 10th. She's really, really good and not slowing down. Just has enough weaknesses that she can't seem to necessarily win or podium when it matters. Brooke Wells is washed, but she finishes 9th. Not sure what happened to Lowen. She had a horrible day. I think her finishes were like 14th, 15th, 19th, something like that. She ended up dropping all the way to 10th, possibly sick, possibly some sort of issue of the cumulative fatigue. I don't know. We'll call it a fluke. I think that she's still definitely a threat for top 5. But things have to go right. The programming has to be good because there are a lot of these young girls that I've mentioned coming up. And that's another thing is that Alex Kazan taking 2nd. She is back to 100%. Her leg is fine and she looks good. But I think she's still got obvious weaknesses, some Weaknesses with just her engine, even something that could definitely be improved. I basically probably have her 6th going into the CrossFit Games season. Home run hitter, got some weaknesses. I like Olivia and Emma a little bit more. Just worth noting, she only took 13th, but Emily Rolfe took 3rd, 5th, and 2nd on the last day to propel up the leaderboard. Paige Rogers, who looked good at first after winning Crash as well, fell off and ended up in 14th. I fully expect her to make the CrossFit Games. 2 years ago at age 19, I think, she took 10th in the CrossFit Games. What her full capability is, we're not sure yet. Haley Adams was dead last. I don't even know what to say. Every event was really, really bad. Domit and Raptus are basically perpetually disappointing. So to sum it all up, fire Josh Bridges and Chris Spieler, bring Rogue back to the States, maybe at their headquarters in Ohio. James Sprague is the best on the planet. Laura isn't. Justin Medeiros was, and maybe could be again. Laura Horvath cheats on handstand push-ups, and Tia Claire Toomey is pregnant. That's about it.